Screw your freedom.
I talked to a student recently at one of our woke college campuses who said she's required in every class to introduce herself and to give her pronouns. Well, I'm Ted Cruz, and my pronoun is kiss my ass.
Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. It's Taco Tuesday, but it's more like a Tuesday, tumultuous Tuesday. Just more tumult. It's out there. But Ted Cruz, I just had to use his little intro there. It is the world can kiss my ass. I'm tired of playing fucking games and tiptoeing around. Today it was just calling people exactly what they were, and even close, shall we say, associates of mine were like, "Holy shit, you're saying some shit." I'm like, yeah, just quit being a fucking pussy and tell it like it is. I mean, one guy was a fucking Sicilian Italian. Never expected them to be quiet. Everyone's been beaten down with this woke shit. I'm done with it. And folks, the real race war, it started. There is a race war in this country right now. But guess what? It's not white versus black, and it's not black versus white. You know what it is? You know what race war is really going on? It's black Americans fighting against evil assholes on the left that are both black and white. That's the race war. That's the race war. It's black Americans fighting for America and fighting back against the anti-American bullshit. So in Chicago, of all places, Chicago, right, they had a huge Make America Great Again, support Donald Trump, flip Chicago to red, which, I mean, it's Chicago is like at the forefront and has been. I think the 1960 election would have gone to Richard Nixon. Yeah, that Richard Nixon. Except for the cheating in voting in Chicago, which took Illinois, which gave the country to John F. Kennedy. Now, today, a black pro-American activist just smoked the communist Marxist BJ mayor of Chicago, right? Mayor Brandon Johnson, BJ, for focusing on Africa Day rather than honoring America's heroes on Memorial Day. Right? So the guy asked, whose man is this? Meaning BJ, who owns him? Right? What the fuck is he thinking? Every American, black or white, or Japanese, or Native American, we all fought as races together for America. That's what Memorial Day is supposed to be about. If it weren't for Americans of all colors fighting their asses off and dying, as well as winning and killing the enemy, right? No one would be free. No one. So the freedom they have, the license they've been granted to be complete and total dicks, well, they're allowed their freedoms and liberties. But this is America. And now they are spitting in the faces of people. And folks, all the black Americans who have died in war, for America, for freedom, for liberty. Never mind the fucking bankers made their money and the military industrial contractors made their money and the politicians got their fucking power and the politicians got their payouts and they pander to everybody. Never mind that. When you and I, regular Americans, fight for this country, we do it for the right fucking reasons. And that includes black America. And they're tired of being shit on too. Fuck all the ghetto people. Fuck all the welfare recipients. Fuck all the ECB cards, right? The fucking welfare cards. Those people don't count. The real black America is the one that goes out and busts its fucking ass every fucking day and makes a fucking living, pays their taxes, kicks ass, loves America. And guess what? They're the ones at the forefront of this fight because they've got to convince the rest of black America to wake the fuck up. That's the race war, folks. And they are fighting against dumb black America, dumb liberal white America, mainstream medium America, fucking political bullshit. They got the biggest fight of all. And the more I listen to real black Americans, patriotic black Americans, excoriate both men and women, young and old, just blast these fucking liberal commie pigs It's incredible. That's the race war, folks. That's the race war. The fact that all these anti-American Marxist blacks that we're going to take our stuff and go back to Africa. Go. You guys go. We'll keep all the productive, hardworking Americans, regardless of color. They can stay here. Rest of you motherfuckers, get the fuck out. Try it. Take your fucking ghetto culture with you too. Well, you won't have any music. We got music. Sorry, we already got that. Anyways, this is where we're at, folks. It is on. It is on. Are you ready for the fight? It's not just with Black America that's retarded. Not that, right? The idiot ghetto and the idiot white trash and the fucking college liberals. It's incredible, folks. It is absolutely unbelievably incredible. And the race war, it's going to be fought amongst themselves. Listen, just listen to them. You'll hear the fucking anger and frustration of real Black Americans sick of this shit. Now, speaking of dumbasses, Dumbocrat Debbie Wasserman Schultz. She can't explain. She doesn't understand. She doesn't get it, right? Why voters, including a lot of Democrats, now look, if I try to talk to a Democrat, first thing I'm going to do is piss them off and insult them. I can't win them over to my way of thinking. But just Democrats listening to Democrat politicians talk, they're learning on their own if they're capable of a little bit of learning. They're learning, and so voters are literally comparing unpopular Democrats. And who are the unpopular Democrats? The fucking loudmouths. They're comparing them to literal slugs and sloths. And so Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who is a giant piece of shit, tried holding a press conference or whatever, right? It ended up devolving into a whining session and a Trump derangement syndrome festival. They don't get it. They don't. So take the advice of professionals. When someone's making an ass out of themselves, stand back. Let them do it. If someone is defeating themselves, making no sense, embarrassing them, let them do it. Don't involve yourself. That's what China is doing with America right now. They don't need to be out in front on the world stage making all kinds of claims. Look what America's doing it to itself. Look what England is doing it to itself. Look what France and Germany are doing to themselves, inviting death into their countries. Canada, Australia, even Japan has now started letting in these third world pieces of shit that are the moral equivalent of our ghetto retards here. Except they're even more fucking violent because they're terrorists from third world. And I'll tell you, this is the best I can come up with to help explain why they go to another country and then they really lose their shit. It's culture shock. It's culture shock. These people from Northern Africa, the Middle East, Southeast Asia, these people who come from loser countries with loser cultures, they go to another country and they see civilization. There's rules. There's lines on the ground that mean cars go certain places. There's lights that tell people stop and go. There's things out there that give directions. There's buildings with lights in them that fucking work, right? Everything works. And these fucking losers from other countries show up and they can't take it. It is culture shock. They don't know the language, the culture, the rules. They just see money everywhere and think that they should just have their peace. They start robbing and beating people, raping them. It's fucking fucked up. Democrat thinking, socialist thinking. In America, we got all kinds of wars. We have race wars, culture wars, tradition wars. By tradition, I mean, where did our country come from? Our history, tradition. These idiot, moronic, left-wing fucking communists are trying to change our history by rewriting it. You see, we're in a massive war in this country. I hope you have your preparations because I think it could get stupid. Really stupid. You know, there is no excuse for the stupid because we are a wealthy country and a wealthy and rich culture with lots of rich traditions. But some people don't get it. Kind of like Whoopi Goldberg today. Whoopi, from The View. Whoopi Goldberg, she looks like a black Jabba the Hutt. That's what she looks like. She claims that it's about time President Trump honored Gold Star families. Gold Star families are families that have lost loved ones while they served in the military. She said to Trump and about Trump, it's about time that he honored them. He's been fucking honoring them from day one. What a dumb bitch. But she goes on there and acts like this is news, right? On The View, so that their viewers are like, yeah, we should be honoring our veterans. What a dumb bitch. Democrats have been ignoring and shitting on the military, patriots, veterans, Gold Star families. At the same time, they invite in criminals, terrorists, who are the same exact people that have been trying to kill Americans overseas. And additionally, Democrats are locking patriots in prison, including someone like Tina Peters, a Gold Star mom who got locked in prison in Colorado for what? For what? For exposing voter fraud. Now, Democrats may believe Whoopi's stupid shit, but everyone or anyone with half a brain knows she's a lying sack of monkey spunk. But the other half of the world that believes Whoopi, folks, they're getting riled up for violence. They're getting riled up for violence. They think you're brainwashed, right? Are you? Are you brainwashed? I don't think so. I think you've been paying attention, following along, figuring shit out, sharing with everyone else. Internet address, share that. Hit the share button down below. Of course, like, subscribe, thumbs up, comment. Ooh, comments. I need your comments down below because we're going to do your questions live right here on thepreparedmind.club, subscribestar.com, and on X. I need everyone on X because ultimately, at some point, YouTube is going to find another reason to kick me off of here. It's unbelievable. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday, a person driving an automobile drove through a rally protest march of white English people marching through their streets, demanding their country be protected from foreigners. Well, they lied about the race and belief system of the driver. The media did over there. But other people took pictures of them and posted it on the internet. This is who did it. It's a fucking foreigner driving their car through innocent protesters who were on a march, just drove right into a crowd of them. Again, using a car as a weapon of mass destruction, death, mayhem, and violence in an effort to silence and scare people into submission to them. And so what did the government say? What did people say? Be careful what you post. You might get arrested. Well, this is America, and you're not going to fucking silence me or Uman or Jolene. You're certainly not going to silence Chin Music or Dan the Man. Not going to happen. You're not going to silence the good people. Crazy, crazy business, folks. Crazy business. It's going to be the everything war. It's going to be race, military, economic. It's going to be gender-based. It's going to be fucking cultural dynamics, boomers versus fucking millennials. All of this is going to become one big giant pissing match. My rule is if you're on my side, you've got to be a decent fucking human being who understands America and knows the difference between right and wrong. That's it. The difference between right and wrong. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Questions down below, folks. Get them out of there. I mean, these Democrats, this is the essence of SHTF. Why we're going down this road. Why I describe the race wars not between whites and blacks, but between patriotic blacks and dumbass blacks and dumbass whites and liberal dumb fucks. That's where the war really is at. Anyways, we're all going to be involved in it for this reason right here. A Democrat representative, complete moron, flipped out, lost his shit. His cheese slipped off the cracker because he was down in El Salvador and he wanted to go visit a fucking prisoner in a fucking prison in another country. This guy's an MS-13 gangster, you know, the Maryland dad, who is a murderous wretch, a human trafficking pile of garbage, a steaming dung pile of liberal love. And this guy is mad because El Salvador said, go pound sand. We don't fucking care who you are in your country. You don't come in our country and demand to see our prisoners. Right? Think about it, folks. Democrats demand, as if they're godlike, Democrats, other nations to kiss their ass and release real killers, you know, murderers, rapists, kidnappers, drug dealers, human traffickers, right? And they expect not only that country to approve it, but then they expect their voters to look at what they're doing, trying to bring murderers, drug dealers, kidnappers back into this country. And half of them approve this shit. What's the Democrat approval number? Last I checked, it was 21%. 21% approve of what the Democrat politicians are pushing for. That's half the fucking Democrats. The other half are like, I don't know. I've been told Trump's an evil fucker. But, you know, these Democrats, how hard is it to figure out, right? How hard is it to figure out? Right? You would think it's not that big a deal. It's not that hard. Right? Democrats this weekend pushed Africa Day. These liberal dumb fucks pushed Africa Day and denied white genocide in South Africa. That's how brainwashed they are. That's how stupid. That's the enemy, folks. I don't know. We've talked about, like, just say Mad Max. A Mad Max scenario happens. Power goes out. It's out for 3 days. People are running out of food. They can't get to the banks, no power. They can't get to their Bitcoin, no power. They can't get fuel, no power, right? They're getting scared. 3 days in, right? They're getting hungry. They're thirsty. They're scared. They're losing their fucking minds. Who do you think the first people are that are going to snap? And when they snap, what do you think they're going to do? They're already not in their right mind. Am I correct or incorrect? They can't see the difference between right and fucking wrong. You don't leave murderers in this country on the loose and then try and protect and harbor them and then give them money and housing and food so they can set up an even stronger gang network with all the money and then go out and just start taking over apartments and fucking towns. That's what they want. So if they're willing to do that now when we have law and order, what do you think they're going to do to you? If shit hits the fan hardcore, do you think law and order is going to matter to them? Do you think they're going to obey common sense? Not a chance. Do you think they're going to respect you, your rights, your property? No. They're going to be retarded rabid dogs on the loose. That's what I expect. I mean, these fucking people are crazy. Now, this is a funny story here. You're going to love this one. Right? You remember this former Democrat congressman who's also a fucking pedophile? He was the husband to Huma Abedin. Does everyone remember Huma Abedin? Hillary's loverly girl helper, whose mother was part of the Muslim Brotherhood, a radical female genital mutilating witch. Yeah, her daughter was Huma Abedin, who is Hillary's whatever disgusting thing she did with Hillary. Her husband, Anthony Weiner, that guy, right? Anthony Weiner's laptop had a file on it that said Clinton insurance, right? The FBI got that. They were supposed to go arrest Hillary and it got stopped. New York cops that saw what was on there ended up dying. They called it suicide. This piece of shit, Anthony Weiner, little Mr. Israel, was confronted on the street today when a rapper, folks, a rapper named DVS70 caught him on the street with a camera going and started giving him shit over the Clinton body count. How many people died involved with Clinton? And he had a bunch of young guys with him. They're all laughing at Anthony Weiner, making fun of him. They brought up his sexting scandal. That's where he got the pedophilia thing, not just Epstein's Island, which I'm sure he had a lot to do with, but he was sexting and sending naked pictures of himself to a 15-year-old girl. Got several years in jail, but was let out after 18 months. Anyways, they started shouting pedophile and putting him down. Anthony Weiner almost tried getting violent, and then he stopped. He was putting his hands on the guy, trying to steal his clipboard and fucking with him. Folks, people are waking up to this shit. The fight is going to be on. These Democrats are seriously scary retarded. Am I wrong? Well, another lunatic, left-wing, radical, communist Democrat congressman decided to join the fray. He has a warning for Elon Musk. He did an MSNBC interview basically claiming Elon Musk is going to be the victim of their revenge. Right? This sack of shit Democrat whose name I'm pronouncing Kazar. He's from Texas. Right? He's threatening revenge. Why? Why? Because Musk exposed Washington, D.C. and its trillions of dollars in theft, waste, fraud, money laundering, embezzlement, etc. Now, here's the deal. That's what this congressman is willing to say on mainstream media. Right? We got a guy who exposes all of the problems, and instead of apologizing for it and saying we're going to fix it, we're going to correct this, they attack him. Now, if someone came to your work and they went to your desk and they said to you, you messed up, your accounting is off, you're off by a margin, I know what I would say. I'd be like, holy shit, I made a mistake. Where is it? Let's fix it. You go to a Democrat or a rhino Republican and you say, hey, you're off by a couple of $1 trillion, fucknut. Instead of apologizing, agreeing it's a problem, what steps need to be taken to fix it, they attack. That's what a thief does. Right? A thief breaks into your car, grabs a bunch of your property, tries running. You go to stop them, they don't set stuff down and apologize. They start fighting back. That's what the Democrats are doing. Instead of apologizing and accepting responsibility, they're fighting back. You want to know why? Because so many of them are guilty. Every last one of these fuckers are so guilty, they should have jail time. Just like the guy that broke into your car and is stealing all your shit. Rather than go to jail, they'd rather fight to the fucking death on the street. That's exactly where we're at. I look around outside. Looks great. Sun is shining. Nice warm summer day or early summer day down here in Florida. I know there's Democrats everywhere that are scared to death that all of their fraud is going to be exposed and they're going to lose power in office. It's unbelievable. These people are absolute shit. Absolute shit. Where do I go next? Every time I think I can't top it, right, we can top that shit. Right now, speaking of these morons, these diversity, equity, and inclusion, this environmental social governance, right? This rewriting of history, culture, traditions, right? There's a price to pay, and now the Obamas are having to deal with it. That's right. 2 Secret Service agents, women, protecting the Obama residence, got into a fight. Female Secret Service agents outside Obama's Washington, D.C. residence got in a fight, and now they released the video and audio. And one of them ends their thing. I need a supervisor down here before I have to whoop this girl's ass. That's your ghetto DEI. I think it's perfect for Democrats. I think Hillary should have that type of protection. I think Obama should have more of this. These complete morons that don't know how to do anything other than, well, talk shit and fight amongst themselves. If you've got a piece of ghetto trash working for Secret Service, how the fuck did they get hired? Don't they have to pass a test? A physical fitness test? Maybe some sort of intelligence testing to see what they know? Did they have to go to school to learn anything about law and order, criminal justice, something? Instead, they just bring the ghetto right into the job. I'm going to whoop this girl's ass. That's where we're at, folks. That's the attitude. And you can't take a chance. I've noticed a disturbing trend, a very disturbing trend, by watching the violence that these people are doing. Now, when you get your ass beat and you get knocked to the ground or knocked out, these pieces of ghetto slime will literally stomp your skull, your face with the heel of their shoes and boots. It's not good enough just to beat your ass. It's not enough just to steal your money. They got to steal your money and push you onto the train tracks. Right? They got to knock you out cold and then cause severe brain damage. So this idea that you don't need to carry a gun or bear spray or pepper spray or a fucking taser, you don't need to carry that. Just give them your wallet. It's just money. No, that's not how this works. It's about destroying you because of their IQ, their belief system, this liberal, mindless mindset. Their feelings of inadequacy and inferiority, in other words, their psychological frailty is so bad that they can only resort to violence. And then when they do, they're going to go all the way. Agree or disagree? Tell me what you think in the comments, because we're going to go there pretty quick. Because I get the first 30 minutes, you guys get the last 30 minutes, and we've got a lot to talk about being prepared and understanding this low IQ mentality out of the liberals, which includes Asians, blacks, natives, and a lot of whites. They're fucking liberals. And they're destructive because they're losing. I watch it all the time. I watch the social paradigms shifting more and more and more and more, just off the fucking screen, crazy. Are you seeing it? Do you recognize it? You should, because of the danger that it presents. You're not just going to be told you're being robbed. You're going to have the shit beat out of you and possibly suffer incredible amounts of broken bones, damaged organs, damage to your face, your teeth, your hearing, your eyes, your nose, everything. There's no fucking way I'm going to give up any of my life for one of these people because they've got an issue that Whoopi Goldberg or dollar store Obama Hakeem Jeffries or Hillary Clinton or Maxine Waters or the Obamas, right? They've been asking for it, pushing it, encouraging it. Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Pelosi, Schumer, all of their fucking threats. The chickens are coming home to roost now. It's not showing up in mass murders. Well, it could. It's not there yet. But I'm seeing individual actions. And I think we've documented it pretty well here. But even in government, where the diversity, equity, inclusion crowds are at, right? The purple-haired, transgender, Marxist black Americans, they're all fucked up, folks. And they're all resorting to violence. Are you prepared? Are you prepared for it? I sure hope you are. Let's do this. Let's switch over to the inner circle. And you guys, your questions are next. Was that first half hour too strong? There was a time when I would have never dreamed of trying to talk about or explain Black America or Hispanic America, because I was just minding my own little world, right? White suburban America. That's all I needed to worry about. Now it's on, right? Because they want to get into our world, it's on. You know, talk about their shit. Why should I be embarrassed? I'm not the one who's a fucking moron. I'm not one of these absolute ghetto slimes. No, I can talk about whoever I want. No longer do I need to feel like I'm invading their racial space. How do you guys feel? Are you at the same level? Have you had enough of their shit? Right? Same with politics. I used to just keep my politics to myself, folks. Literally 15, 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Hey, look, that's just my belief system. You believe what you want. And then you start arguing with them. You realize you can't win. And then you realize they're getting violent about it. Now it's like, okay, I guess we're going to talk, huh? Are you there yet? Do you see where this is headed? Ooh, man, who's up next? Let's do it. Let's have some fun. Let's do some questions, comments. Whoa. Once again, the ghetto world. Ooh, man says there was also that high-class birthday cruise shooting at Myrtle Beach. Yeah, a bunch of people, lowlifes out of the ghetto. They get a boat. They all pile onto this big, or I don't know, it's about 50, 60-foot boat. Had a couple of decks. They can't even get along with each other. The IQ is so low. The Democrat mentality is so small. They start fighting with each other. This is supposed to be a birthday cruise. And they start fighting with each other, and then guns start shooting each other. Well, that makes me feel good about taking a cruise or going to a populated area to have a nice dinner, right? All these ghetto slimes bring guns on a birthday cruise, and at least 10 people get shot. I don't even know how many died. And you would think that since it's a ghetto crowd, they would all just get along because they're part of that culture. The answer is fuck no. So what happens when the power goes out for 3 days and there's no food, no water, no gasoline, no radio, no television, no distractions, and people with that mentality, they want to bust a cap in someone's ass, right? West Coast, you got the Hispanics guys, right? The Mexican gangs. They put the fucking scarf around their head and over their eyes. Yeah, it's you see that, you're in the wrong neighborhood, right? They're on a cruise. They're drinking and having a good time. Music, fun, festival, they're people, and they still can't fucking put two brain cells together. This is who you and I, regardless of your age, where you live, the demographics you reside in and work in, or what color it doesn't matter. They're going to come after us. They're going to fuck with us. Right? Or am I wrong? And I'm just blowing all this out of proportion. America's fine. Nothing wrong at all. Chin Music says, you cannot communicate with mental illness. Hashtag liberalism is a mental disorder. It's a total mental disorder, Chin. I'm telling you, big man. It's a total disorder. And what does that mean? A mental disorder. If you had an automobile and there's two gas stations and you're out of gas. In the old days, this used to happen, folks. People run out of gas because their gas gauge wasn't quite right, or it was broken, or they got a leak in a hose and all their fuel spilled out, right? You run out of gas. So people used to literally push cars down the street in the good old days. It was very often. And people would park their car and get out and help people push them to the nearest gas station. Good stuff. Old America was great. Anyways, here you are. Your car ran out of gas. You've got a gas station straight ahead, and there's a gas station at the top of the hill. Which one are you going to push your car to? The close gas station that's right there, that's on a flat road. Someone with a mental disorder, as described by Chin Music, can go, the one that's close, that's a BP gas, and I don't buy BP gas. I only buy Shell. So I'm going to try and push my car up the hill. That's a mental disorder. They don't deal with reality. They don't process information correctly. They don't have positive examples with which to think from. Right? So you go over and you try and help this person, right? You try and communicate with them as described by Chin Music. Guess what? You're going to get in a fucking fight while trying to help this person do the thing that is most beneficial for them. That's exactly what we've all been doing for years. Hey, you make $2,000 a month on welfare. You live in a pile of shit house. Your kids are fucked up. You're not going to get anywhere in life. Why are you doing that to yourself? Get a job, work a couple years. You'll make 2, then 3, then 4,000. You'll be great. You'll get on in life. You'll become successful, proud of yourself. Be a good example for your kids. Help raise your neighborhood, right? Because now you got money to take care of, right? Live in a nice place. What do you mean give up my welfare? Right? Unbelievable. It's a mental disorder. You can't help. You can't communicate. That's why I quit trying. Right? Same with even it doesn't matter. I'm not just talking about just the ghetto people. There's stupid people everywhere, out in the country, in the fucking desert, in the swamps, in the hills, in the mountains. There's fucking ghetto, dumbass, trash everywhere. This is not a color thing. This is a dumbass thing, right? It's almost as if being a dumb ghetto person is its own race now, right? It's not. It's just ghetto. Yeah, it's incredible good stuff. Good God. All right, man, let's continue. Apparently, we're on this tumultuous Tuesday, and now we got Diving Frog. And he says, John, I saw a segment where more than 100 cops showed up at a mall in England. Why do aliens seem to show up at malls? Are they looking for Spencer's or Chess King? And you just dated yourself. When I was a Marine in 1988 down in Camp Pendleton, I used to go get my clothes at a Chess King, right, my civvies. I go to Chess King. I go out to a mall, right? Get on the bus, go off the base, go to a fucking shopping mall, hang at the mall, right? Go buy my clothes at Chess King. Are there Chess Kings around anymore? Man, are there Chess Kings anymore? He doesn't know. He shops at Duluth. He's a working man. He's not going to buy sexy clothes for the club. I don't buy that anymore either. Anyways, yeah. Why do they show up to the malls? The answer to the question is they know jack shit about civilization. Right? Yeah, 100% sale may break out. Yeah, a riot followed by looting. They show up in a country. They're given free money. You get free housing, free food, and cash. Where are you going to spend your cash? Well, the shopping mall, the shopping district, if you will. Whether it's an indoor mall or an outdoor mall or a strip mall or just a fancy street like Rodeo Drive or the Golden Mile, Fifth Avenue, right? Fifth Avenue, New York City used to be nice. Now it looks like the fucking ghetto, right? Right. People in Queens, people in Harlem are like, stay the fuck off of Fifth Avenue, man. You get fucking shot down there. Anyways, yeah. They have money and nothing else to do. They don't speak the language. They've got no fucking skills, so they're not going to get a job, so they go to the malls. The cops show up because fights, riots, looting, murder. That's what they're used to in their third world countries. So they recreate it. Just like ghetto people, they get $200-300 from the Obama administration. And they're like, hey, we're going to go party at Myrtle Beach. We're going to go down to Daytona or Miami and fuck that place up and bring our ghetto shit where you got all these fucking ghetto scumbags fighting each other. Oh, man. I was telling Uman earlier, I went on this cruise once and I saw these fucking hillbillies. A hillbilly husband and wife and 1 or 2 kids. Can't remember how many kids. But the look on their face was like, holy shit, I can go to the buffet and eat all I want. I can go get all the hamburgers I want. someone's going to clean my room. They were like in shell shock, like, holy crap, I got on the boat. I made it, man. I made it. Right. And they were calm as fuck. Right. Because they're scared, I guess. They're not used to this, I don't know, whatever a cruise is to them in their mind. Well, then I see the ghetto trash, right? 500-pound giant tank ass taking up the whole fucking walkway, right? Wearing a fucking thong bikini with some kind of fishnet thing over it as if that's supposed to protect us from this giant ass. Wearing a fucking princess tiara around their head and a sash that says fucking princess. They actually think they're royalty because they got $200-$300 from the Biden administration and they're going on a cruise, right? They're going to own everything. They think they own everything they see. And if they can get to it, it's theirs. Watch. And if you don't learn, you may suffer for it. There needs to be more, I think, street justice. You could call it vigilantism, in my opinion. While I am not promoting dangerous and harmful behavior, while I'm not recommending or promoting violence or illegality, I really think vigilantism would solve a lot of our problems. I've seen examples of that. For example, today on the internet, there was a young ghetto hood harassing an elderly person on a city bus by putting their foot up on their wheelchair. This is an elderly person. You're supposed to respect your elderly, right? And one of the bus patrons said, hey, get your foot off there. Knock that shit off. It's disrespectful. Then I was like, no, man, I'm going to put my foot where I want. Well, two other dudes joined this one guy, stood up and got in his face and said, you're going to knock this shit off now. Well, Mr. Dumbass got a look on his face of, I'm about to get my ass kicked by these other three fucking, I don't even know what they were, ghetto rats, but they were like, no, they realized what's going on is wrong and they fixed it. And I was like, good. Vigilantism works every time. Or someone gets their ass beat. Like we're good. And when shit hits the fan, and heaven forbid it does not, but if it gets so bad that we've got Mad Max type shit going on, and I've talked about this, for the past 10 fucking years. When that happens, it's going to be Wild West, vigilantism, no judge, no jury, just justice. And I don't want any part of that, but it's going to happen at some point. And the left continues and demands and pushes for it. All the way to the top, all the way to Washington, D.C., they're calling for it. Are you prepared? Do you have food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense? Do you have a plan to deal with this? This is your responsibility, not mine. And you guys have done great, right? The only responsibility we have is to share the information, and wake people up. There's two ways to wake up, folks, right? You wake up because someone kicked in your door and you're ready for them now. Or you wake up because they kicked in your door, made it all the way to your bedroom, and you're so drugged out, you're so unconscious and in a coma of stupor that you don't wake up till they're beating you to death. And that's just it. You've got to, what did I just talk about? Well, you're in a coma, you're drugged, you're asleep, right? That's what people are. They're intoxicated on a belief system that has nothing to do with reality. That is liberalism. Well, but John, I know Republicans. I know conservatives. I know a lot of normal people, right? Middle class. And they're not preppers. They don't think about this. It's because they swallowed the fucking Kool-Aid too. Right? They're not willing to do anything to fix the problem. They're going to let everyone else handle it. It's the same problem. Right? Not my problem. Well, it's going to be. It's going to be. And America found out in 2020. And what did they find out? You pick up the phone. Police, I'd like to report a bunch of savages out there setting fire to buildings and destroying shit. And the police says, you're on your own, sir. What? On my own? Yeah, you're on your own. Are you prepared to be on your own? Good question, huh? Only you know the answer. All right, man, let's have some more fun out there. What do we want to discuss? And it's Robin Free to Be. And she says, I just watched JLP interviews Orania's CEO. Inside South Africa's white-only town. JLP, a black guy, warned Orania to never let a black person into their community. Ever. How long can they hold up? How long can who hold up? The white-only's town? Is that the question? Man's giving me the head shake. Yeah, dumbass. The white-only town. Well, I'll tell you what. They can hold up until they can't. If it's a white-only town in South Africa, all that has to happen is the national government sends a national police force or a paramilitary organization to that town. And at that point, the people of the town have to rebel against the federal or national government. It's not a federalized system. It's just a national system. The equivalent of your state government. A federal government's a federation. Multiple states join together. Kind of like the Russian Federation states or the U.S. states. Back to this. Anyways, I digress. Let's just say a bunch of these anti-white communists, because they're communists, say we need to put together our anti-white white death force. So we're going to go into that town. We're going to take that town back. Well, they show up there. The whites only realize they're now the subject of genocide. They're the target of a genocide. They're going to have to fight to the death. So when you ask how long can they hold up, they can hold up until someone decides to fight them. And now who wins depends on who brought more guns, who has more people, who has more skill, knowledge. You see, that's really what it comes down to. Let's just say you've got 5 people in your group, Robin. You've got you, a couple of guys, their families, right? Just a small group. But you're prepared. You've been paying attention to what's going on. You're prepared in that you have self-defense tools. Just to say there's 5 or 6 of you that are very competent and understand everything that's going on. Down the street, coming at you is 50 left-wing Marxist liberal white college students with a couple of token black morons, right? So that they can claim that they're, BLM, whatever, right? But they're coming down the street, 50 of them. And they're armed with some guns, some baseball bats, some Molotov cocktails. Do you stand a chance? 5 versus 50. They got you outnumbered 10-1. The answer is yes. If you're prepared, planned, trained, proficient, competent. So this town about South Africa's whites only. So this guy, JLP, says, don't do it. Don't let him in. Because once you let the guys, the genocidal maniacs in, guess what? They're going to start doing the dirty work from the inside. The same way Islam is in our country and Australia and England and Canada, and they're taking over. And they're not even quiet about it. Right? They're from the desert ghetto. Right? A completely bankrupt and immoral culture and system of governance under a so-called religion, and it's not. It's a cult of death. Right? They get into our country, and then they start building mosques. Then they start getting in people's faces, and then they start becoming violent, and then they start beating, murdering, and raping people. And then by the time you realize it's time to fight back, they've got gangs of machete-wielding morons who will rape you, whether you're a man or a woman. And you're dealing with it. By the way, I found a big mosque in Florida, about 20 miles from the bunker here. I drove by it and said, I think that's one of the minaret things. And there's a little dome on their building. Duly noted. Duly noted. It was in a nice part of town. Duly noted. I know the first place a tractor needs to go when shit hits the fan. If they start their shit, if they're the cause of it. Folks, understand. This is going to get nasty. Right? This is going to get nasty. What you see in South Africa is a microcosm of the macro problem picture. White genocide there. Go to Ukraine. You got white genocide there too. It is the leader of Ukraine genociding his own fucking people. In fact, Uman let me know earlier today. He said, hey, did you see the news? I was like, no, I'm too busy sweating to the oldies in the sun. Anyway, he said, no. He said, there are people now. Here it is. Suddenly, there are a lot of posts showing Ukraine citizens fighting off the enlistment squads and soldiers arresting priests and tearing up churches. That country is starting to tear itself apart because they're tired of dying so Zelensky can stay in power and keep his billions of stolen dollars. That's another microcosm of what's going on. You can take England. They feel guilty, white guilt, right? White, liberal, stupid, socialist guilt. And London and England are full of white, stupid socialists. It's full. Fuck them. That's what they are. White, stupid socialists out of the guilt elect a guy named Khan. It reminds me of Star Trek, the movie. Khan! Yeah. As mayor, and he says, well, all big major metropolises have to learn to deal with terrorism. It's like, this is fucking London. London. Not Kirkplekistan. Not Kabul, right? No, that's what they do. It's another microcosm. So they elect this guy. They bring in more of these fucking foreigners. And I hear two stories from people that travel to Europe. I go, did you see a bunch of these foreign invaders? And they're like, no, I didn't see nothing, man. It was normal. I'm like, you're a fucking liar. And I talk to other people. They're like, don't ever go to London or Paris anymore. Don't do it. Don't do it because you're not going to see London or Paris. And there's many more cities beside, folks, because it's being overrun. The filth and the garbage. It looks like California now. What's going on in California? Another microcosm of the greater problem. This is a great subject, by the way, man. Good job. Go to California. What's their problem there? Well, apart from the illegals from Mexico and south of the border coming in and stealing everyone's money through the social system set up by scumbag socialist governor, communist fucknut, gruesome Newsom. Okay. The homelessness in California, everywhere, tents on city streets. These people have got enough money to get an RV, drive to California, and then crash their fucking RV on the side of the road and live in it until it fucking falls over. Trash everywhere. Drug paraphernalia everywhere. Prostitution with these filthy people and animals everywhere. Theft, murder, rape, robbery, looting everywhere. Because socialism fails. Abandoning decency and morality fails. Every time it's tried. So we just pulled out several different examples of the different ways shit can go awful. And people want to say I'm a bad guy for going, you know what? That fucking group of people right there needs to be thrown the fuck out. President Trump, same thing. Get these fucking illegals out. Half the country hates them for it. The other half is like, go faster, motherfucker. Right? That's where we're at. That's where we're at. And speaking of Trump, some more information about the Trump assassin would-be asshole, Thomas Crooks. Guess what he was doing in addition to planning out and executing an assassination attempt on President Trump, or then candidate Trump, in Butler, Pennsylvania, Butler County. Not only was he buying guns and planning on how to assassinate the president. Somehow he managed to show up, find a building that wasn't being guarded, that had a perfect view of the stage, and climb up on the roof that was so dangerous that Secret Service didn't want to go on it. Bullshit. It's all fucking bullshit. Right? And shoot at the president. He was a patsy. Anyways, he was also ordering bomb-making materials, paraphernalia. Wow. So I guess after he got done killing President Trump, he was going to go out and start bombing buildings. Folks, Crooks, in my opinion, was an FBI stooge. He was vetted and then groomed for his role as a patsy. And if he had managed to shoot the president and then get off that roof and run away, they could have used him for other things, like setting off bombs. Right? You know, the FBI is doing. The FBI is involved in all this, folks, in my opinion. The FBI tried to assassinate Trump. They had the help of the Secret Service, the same two organizations in government that were involved in the Kennedy assassination. The Secret Service pulled back the security detail around the president to give all shooters a clear shot at his head. All shooters a clear shot at his head. The Dallas police stepped aside and helped it happen too. The FBI was involved. Just ask J. Edgar Hoover. Oh, that's right. His papers have been redacted, blacked out, but some have been released to the public. The CIA was involved also. That's right. Now dead former president George H.W. Bush was the head of the CIA. He lied about that. Was in Dallas on that day, and he lied about that. Got a picture of him standing on the school book depository steps. He has no recollection of that. Now he's dead anyways. Right? So the FBI gets this guy Crooks and sets him up as a potential bomber, potential assassin. Right? Would they have put a, right? All they had to do if this didn't work, if they didn't get the shot, if they didn't get Crooks on the roof, they could have used him at the next event, right? He could bomb somewhere, right? Or maybe they could have said Crooks is involved in a white supremacy group, right? Some network. They could have used Crooks a multiple different way, right? For terrorism. Right? But the way it worked out is they put a bullet through Trump's ear, missed his cranium, right? And after a few seconds, they kept missing Trump. They had to shoot Crooks and eliminate him right there. And of course, what did the FBI do? They washed the blood off the roof. The body was moved several feet from where they said it was. They seem to have lost all of the DNA because they washed it away. The body disappeared. It was cremated. It just fucking disappeared. Where's the trials? Where's the information on the murder attempt? Who was he talking to at the FBI? The facts need to come out. And this little bit here, oh, I guess we should kiss Dan Bongino's ass, huh? Should I kiss Kash Patel's at the same time? Thanks for telling me he was also involved in trying to get bomb material together. Right? The fucking guy's a moron. And we're supposed to believe he's going to build bombs from what, a bomb-making kid he got off the internet? No, but they would definitely use him. The same way the FBI used a gang of retarded white supremacist morons in Michigan who supposedly had a plan to kidnap Governor Gretchen the Grinch, Gretchen the Witch Whitmore, that nasty bitch up there who kept locking down the people of Michigan because they protested her COVID lockdowns. Right. So the FBI had to infiltrate this group and convince them to do something illegal. That's your FBI. Thanks for cleaning it up, Cash. Appreciate it. No, not a fucking chance. Thanks, Dan. I'm sure you kicked ass like you did in there. No, you didn't. You haven't. It makes you a fucking liar or a weakling. And they're good with it. I don't get it, folks, but here we are. Shit has hit the fan. We covered all kinds of shit today. And this tumultuous, stupid-ass Tuesday. Unfucking believable. Are you surprised? Every day I'm surprised, folks. Every day. That we get more and more information about how fucked up the entire country is, the government, the system, everything. Yet the government, which has the power, the authority, and the access to information, does 0% to fix it. In fact, they go out of their way to keep it fucked up. Well, here we are, folks. Chance favors the prepared mind is yours. Get ready. Go to thepreparedmind.club. Get what you need to stay prepared, to get prepared, to be fully prepared. Unless you know exactly what's coming, and then you don't have to do anything, right? Yeah, I just know that more bad shit's coming our way. Love you guys. I appreciate the great support. Share this video with others so they too have an opportunity to wake up and start thinking for themselves. Until Zero Dark tomorrow, you guys be cool.